Today, we're diving into something that's creating serious buzz in the crypto space, especially among XRP supporters. What you're seeing here is a post claiming that Ripple is moving closer to a major breakthrough, possibly becoming a national trust bank. And if this actually happens, it could mark a turning point, not just for Ripple, but for the entire cryptocurrency industry. The post mentions that Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, presented Ripple and XRP before a banking committee. That alone is a big deal. Think about it. This isn't just another crypto project trying to stay relevant. This is Ripple stepping directly into the traditional financial system, engaging with regulators and lawmakers at a high level. It signals a shift from being an outsider in finance to potentially becoming part of the core infrastructure. Now, the phrase moving closer to becoming a national trust bank is what really grabs attention. A national trust bank is a regulated financial institution, meaning it can offer custody services, handle assets, and operate under strict financial laws. If Ripple achieves this status, it would gain a level of legitimacy and trust that very few crypto companies have today. It could bridge the gap between decentralized finance and traditional banking in a way we haven't seen before. The post also says the golden era is beginning. That's a bold statement, but you can understand why people are excited. For years, XRP holders have been waiting for real-world adoption and regulatory clarity. If Ripple is truly moving in this direction, it could open doors for institutional investment, faster cross-border payments, and wider global use of XRP. However, it's important to stay realistic. Social media posts can sometimes exaggerate or simplify complex developments. While the idea is promising, it doesn't necessarily mean everything is finalized. Regulatory processes take time, and becoming a national trust bank is not something that happens overnight. Still, this moment reflects something important. Crypto is no longer just about speculation or hype. It's gradually integrating into the real financial world, and Ripple seems to be positioning itself right at the center of that transformation. So, whether you're an XRP holder or just watching the crypto market, this is definitely something to keep an eye on, because if this move becomes reality, it could reshape how we think about crypto and banking forever.
This image shows a social media post highlighting a bold and emotionally charged statement about the XRP community. The post claims that Sal Gilbert, identified as a multi-billionaire and CEO of Teucrium, described the XRP community as an army that is willing to go into battle. That kind of language immediately signals strong loyalty, unity, and intensity among supporters of XRP, and it reflects how deeply invested many people are in the future of this cryptocurrency. At the center of the post is a short video clip featuring Sal Gilbert speaking during an interview, likely on a financial news platform. The background suggests a professional setting, possibly a trading floor or studio environment, which adds credibility and seriousness to the message being shared. The caption below the video reinforces the idea that traditional finance figures are paying attention to crypto communities, especially one as vocal and persistent as XRP's. The phrase describing the XRP community as an army is particularly powerful because it goes beyond normal investor behavior. It suggests that XRP supporters are not just passive holders of an asset, but active participants who defend, promote, and strongly believe in the project. Over the years, the XRP community has built a reputation for being highly engaged online, often responding quickly to news, criticism, or developments related to Ripple and XRP. This kind of statement also reflects the broader culture within cryptocurrency markets, where communities play a major role in shaping narratives and momentum. Unlike traditional assets, where investors may remain relatively quiet, crypto communities often act like movements, driven by shared goals and a sense of identity. XRP, in particular, has gone through significant challenges, including legal battles and regulatory scrutiny, which has further strengthened the bond among its supporters. At the same time, it's important to interpret such statements carefully. Calling a community an army can be seen as motivational, but it can also amplify hype and emotional decision-making. In financial markets, strong emotions can sometimes lead to unrealistic expectations or risky behavior. While community strength is valuable, long-term success still depends on real-world adoption, technology, and regulatory clarity. Overall, this post captures a moment where traditional finance voices acknowledge the power of crypto communities. It highlights how XRP supporters are perceived, not just as investors, but as a determined and united group that continues to push forward despite challenges.
This image highlights a social media post focusing on statements attributed to Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, emphasizing confidence in Ripple's real-world utility and adoption. The headline, "Ripple CEO Speaks," immediately sets the tone, suggesting that what follows is important and possibly impactful for the crypto community, especially XRP holders who closely follow any updates from Ripple leadership. The post claims that Ripple is the only company with real customers solving real problems, which is a strong and somewhat bold statement. It positions Ripple not just as another blockchain project, but as a company actively working within the financial system to address practical issues. This is significant because one of the biggest criticisms of many cryptocurrencies is that they lack real-world use cases. By highlighting real customers, the message is trying to separate Ripple from speculative or purely hype-driven projects and instead frame it as a serious business with tangible applications. Another key part of the post is the idea that XRP is tackling a multi-trillion-dollar problem. This likely refers to the global payments and remittance industry, where cross-border transactions are often slow, expensive, and inefficient. Ripple has long promoted its technology as a solution to this problem, offering faster and cheaper alternatives to traditional systems like SWIFT. By framing the opportunity as multi-trillion-dollar, the post emphasizes the scale of the market Ripple is targeting, suggesting massive potential if adoption continues to grow. The phrase, "This is real adoption," reinforces the central message. In the crypto world, adoption is one of the most important indicators of long-term success. It's not just about price movements or market hype, but whether businesses, banks, and institutions are actually using the technology. The post is clearly trying to convince viewers that Ripple has already crossed that threshold and is operating in a space where its technology is being applied in meaningful ways. At the same time, it's important to approach such claims with a balanced perspective. While Ripple has made significant progress in partnerships and technology, statements like "only company" can be seen as promotional or exaggerated. The crypto space is highly competitive, with many projects also working on real-world solutions. Overall, this post is designed to reinforce confidence in Ripple's mission, highlight its progress in real adoption, and position XRP as a key player in solving large-scale financial challenges.
The post makes several bold claims, starting with the statement that XRP is set to replace Bitcoin for payments, and that the global reserve could eventually operate on the XRP ledger. These are very strong assertions, aiming to position XRP not just as a useful cryptocurrency, but as a dominant force that could reshape how money moves worldwide. The post goes further by mentioning a supposed global partnership valued at approximately $2.16 trillion, expected to launch on the XRP ledger. It introduces a token called REAL, described as being built on XRPL and serving as the backbone of this ecosystem. The scale mentioned here is enormous, and it is clearly meant to capture attention and generate excitement. By connecting XRP to such a massive valuation, the message suggests that adoption at this level could drive significant growth in value and usage. Another striking element is the price prediction tied to this narrative. The post claims that the REAL token could rise dramatically from a very low price to nearly $1,000 as adoption grows. This kind of prediction is extremely ambitious and reflects the speculative nature often seen in crypto-related content. It plays into the hopes of investors looking for high returns, but it also highlights the importance of caution, as such predictions are rarely guaranteed and often lack concrete backing. The inclusion of direct links to buy the real token on specific platforms adds a promotional and possibly commercial angle to the post. It shifts the message from just sharing information to actively encouraging action, which suggests that the post may be intended to drive traffic or investment toward that token. The phrase DYR/NFA, meaning do your own research, not financial advice, is commonly used in crypto communities to reduce liability, but it also acknowledges that the claims being made should not be taken at face value without verification. The video still at the bottom, showing Brad Garlinghouse speaking with the caption "XRP to the moon," reinforces the overall tone of excitement and bullish sentiment. It visually connects Ripple's leadership with the idea of rapid growth and success, even if the context of the clip may not directly support all the claims made in the text. Overall, this post represents a mix of hype, speculation, and promotional messaging. It reflects how powerful narratives can be in the crypto space, especially when they combine big numbers, strong predictions, and calls to action. But it also serves as a reminder to approach such content with careful analysis and critical thinking.
This image presents a social media post discussing a controversial claim involving Charles Hoskinson and Coinbase, highlighting internal tensions within the cryptocurrency industry and their potential impact on regulation. The post states that Hoskinson believes Coinbase is a major force blocking the passage of the Clarity Act, a piece of legislation aimed at providing clearer regulatory guidelines for crypto in the United States. This immediately frames the situation as not just a regulatory issue, but also a conflict between influential players within the industry itself. The mention of internal battles slowing crypto regulation is particularly important because it reflects a broader challenge the industry has been facing for years. Instead of a unified push toward clear and supportive laws, different companies and leaders often have competing interests, priorities, and strategies. These disagreements can delay progress, making it harder for governments to establish consistent rules that benefit the entire ecosystem. As a result, adoption may be slowed, since businesses and institutions typically prefer operating in environments with clear legal frameworks. By specifically pointing to Coinbase as a blocking force, the post introduces a narrative that one of the largest and most recognized crypto exchanges could be influencing policy in a way that others disagree with. Whether or not this claim is fully accurate, it highlights how much power major platforms can have when it comes to shaping regulation. Large companies often engage with lawmakers directly, and their positions can significantly impact the direction of legislation. At the same time, the post contrasts this situation by stating that XRP and Ripple keep building. This creates a comparison between conflict and progress, suggesting that while others are caught up in disputes, Ripple is focused on development and forward movement. It reinforces a common narrative within the XRP community that Ripple is more aligned with long-term adoption and real-world use cases rather than industry politics. The video thumbnail included in the post shows Charles Hoskinson speaking in what appears to be an interview or discussion setting alongside other participants. This adds a layer of authenticity to the claim, as it suggests the statement comes from a direct conversation rather than speculation. The subtitle, "Group of People," hints that he may be referring to a broader set of actors influencing the situation, not just a single entity. Overall, this post reflects the complex and sometimes fragmented nature of the crypto industry. It shows how disagreements between key figures and companies can influence not only public perception, but also the pace of regulatory development. While innovation continues, these internal dynamics remain an important factor in shaping the future of cryptocurrency adoption.